Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. Way too much of it. What am I gonna do with all this byproduct of my earlier project in the week? I need to do something with this because I'm not one to just throw things away. I really need to find something to do with this whey. Okay, so I am going to be using up the yogurt that I have here. That's what's in this container. The first batch you saw me make, and the whey off of it in this container. I'm going to make bread out of here. I have my bread machine here. I'm going to make bread, and then over here I'm going to make some muffins. Now I'm going to show you, I don't have to show you, I'm going to make my bread the same way I make it. Instead of using water, I'm going to use the whey, and then I'm going to make muffins, and I am going to do this as a flour up Friday. I will show you this in detail, how I make these muffins out of my yogurt. So I'm gonna get started and I'll show you the results of my bread at the end. Oh, and I also forgot to say I'm actually gonna be making 2 loaves. I have enough whey to make 2 loaves of bread, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna freeze one and we're gonna use one. No, I'm not even gonna freeze one. I'm just gonna, we're gonna go through 2 loaves of bread in the week. So I'm just gonna make 2 today out of the whey from my yogurt adventure. Okay, so I measured out my yogurt for 1 batch, and I had enough for 2 more batches. So I'm going to put these in the freezer for another time, and that will be a quick pull it out and make I've labeled it muffin yogurt, so we know that that's what it's measured out for. So I'm going to put those in the freezer, and I'm going to get continuing to make muffins. And just so you know, I actually have made muffin yogurt muffins before. I just used this vanilla Greek yogurt. This is out of the freezer. As you can see, it is frozen. And I have about 2 or 3 of these left. And all I did was just take some yogurt that was given to me, and I used some of it and made muffins for the first time out of yogurt that I've never done before. It worked out great, so the rest of it I actually froze, and we've been slowly working through it. So that's how I know that this definitely will work if you get into a situation like I am and not just throw away yogurt or compost it. That's what I probably would have done, maybe. I don't know if you can compost dairy. Yeah, I gotta look into that. But anyway, so this is how I know that this will work for muffins. So I've got all my ingredients out to make the muffins. I have salt. I'm using vanilla sugar, but it calls for regular sugar, but I'm using vanilla sugar. I have my flour measured out. In here I have my milk. Actually, I did half whey and half whole milk, so that's what I have in there. I have my vanilla, baking soda, my butter, and this is the yogurt. Yeah, and it tastes all right, but the graininess of it, so I think it will be okay in muffins. And then I have my 2 eggs back there, so that's what I need. So I recently came across this baker's tip for bigger muffins, and that was to stagger your cupcakes so the top has room to grow so they're not touching each other. So I'm going to try that trick and see how it goes. We'll see. Okay, so the other tip was to fill the wells to 3/4 full, not like half what you usually do. So I used two different scoops, my largest one right there and my middle one. So these are my middle ones. These here, and these are my large scoop. I think that might be overfilled, so I think I'm gonna go back to even this. This looks about halfway. Maybe I'll put in another like teaspoon or so into these as well. I noticed that the batter is a lot thicker than I normally would have it. I think that has to do with my thicker yogurt. Usually my yogurt that I use is a lot thinner, and I probably should have added a bit more milk to compensate for that, but I didn't. I'm gonna see how this works out. Okay, so into the oven they go at 350 for about, it all depends on your oven. I'm gonna check them at 12 minutes, but it says it can go up to 15, so we'll see how long it takes. So here they are out of the oven. The recipe actually says 18 to 20 minutes baking time. Mine went for 15 exactly, and I pulled them out, and as you can see they are still a little brown, but it's okay because good thing we like a little brown on our muffins. So here they are all out of the oven, and I did thin the batter down a little bit more with a little bit of whey that I had from one of the batches of making yogurt. I actually just didn't add milk, I just added the whey, and that's how I thinned it out. And here they are. They are super moist, super delicious, and this is just a basic recipe. You can add chocolate chips, blueberries, whatever you want. I might add some fruit next time. Yeah, blueberries are fruit, so I was thinking pineapples really. When I saw this, I was thinking this might be good with some pineapples. I've never made pineapple muffins, but that might be something I'm going to try in the future. So this is my yogurt muffins. And here is my 2 loaves of bread made with the whey. And I will say the one that went in the bread maker is rising a lot faster than the one that I made in the mixer, only because my kitchen is very cold and it rose faster. So as you can see, I've already baked off the one that was in the bread maker. The other one is still rising. And I will say it didn't rise as high as I thought it was. Usually my bread will rise even more once it goes in the oven. Pretty much the height that it was when it rose and I put it in the oven, that's where it stayed. So I think that has something to do with the way, because that's never happened before. I usually do it just under where I want it to be, because once it gets in the oven it rises even more, but this didn't happen this time. So next time if I have some whey that I'm putting in my bread, I'll have to remember that it doesn't rise too much more than where it rises before you put it in the oven to bake it off. So this is my Flour It Up Friday, something to use that whey for, and I hope you try this yogurt muffin recipe. It is delicious. It is simple, easy to make, and delicious. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and click that notification bell to be notified when I upload videos. God bless, and remember, stay safe and keep prepping.